All right, guys, welcome back to another postseason pod episode. Today we're doing part two of going over NHL Hot Takes. Today we're going to focus more on the midseason ones. There is one that was a precursor, but that's besides the point. If you haven't seen last video, go check it out. Really good, and some crazy hot takes, including Trip and some of myself. But jumping right in here, starting off with the St. Louis Blues sort of hot take. The fact that Jordan Binnington can no longer be the starter. Now, this is again from pretty credible source, I guess you could not credible source because it's a hot take, but someone who should have knowledge. It's a NHL writer for Bleacher Report, and I don't agree with this at all. He's 31 years old. He's on a crazy team-friendly deal at only 6 mil cap hit per season until the start of 2027-28 year. He's gonna be the starter for the Four Nations tournament in February for Team Canada. Um, if I didn't say it already, he's only 31 years old. He's still really, really agile and one of the better goalies in the league. As you can see from his stats, I mean that goals against is solid, especially for that Blues team who just brought in Cam Fowler to help out their defensive struggles. Um, excuse me, but still, some people are calling for Joel Holfer to start in the net. I disagree. He's still kid's young. He's 24 years old. He'll have his time. He's cheap contract. You'll have him cheap for the next contract. And they can organically switch over to Hoffer. Um, but overall, St. Louis, they're making moves. They brought in Jim Montgomery. Bennington's just a solid goalie. No one has more passion for him in the net, arguably, than anyone else. And yeah, I think this is a crazy overreaction. I think it's a crazy hot take. And yeah, he needs to be the starter of St. Louis for quite a little longer, or for he'll be the starter of St. Louis for quite some time in the future, as well as he'll start for Canada's Four Nations team in February. I think this is such a hot take here, and we're moving on. The next one is Sam Reinhart will regress. Now, for all you people that forgot, last year Sam Reinhart had a career year, 57 goals in 82 games. Absolutely unreal from him. No one saw that coming. He's super skilled player. Um, he signed a contract after winning the Stanley Cup during this offseason, after his career year at an 8 times $8.625 million cap hit per season, totaling to a $69 million contract. ESPN was the one who said this. And for all you actual hockey fans, ESPN is not a I don't want to say pro hockey, but they have negative hockey IQ in general. Um, right now his stats are 32 games played, plus 10, which is really, really good. I mean, granted, he's playing on a line with a Selke nominee in Sasha Barkov, but 21 apples, 20 goals. I mean, he was projected 40 goals at the start of the year, and if you think about it, if you just do quick math, right? 64 games played, he'll have 40 goals, and if you do another 20 games, he'll have 60. So he actually breaks his career year if you think about it. But yeah, I think it's just crazy that this statement even came out. This was glanced at and gave the stamp of okay. I mean, just putting aside Reinhardt's skill, goal scoring ability, nose for the net, no his hockey IQ. He's playing in such a well-oiled system and under Paul Maurice. Not only that, like their power play is good. He has a great hockey IQ, and he's also surrounded by Kachuk, Bennett, Barkov, Rodriguez, who's been playing really good as of late and from last year as well. Lundell, Ekblad. There's so many guys on this team that are individually really, really good, but collectively their game rises another level. And Ryan Hart's another one of those guys that when he's individually he's really good, but when he's surrounded by other and more talent, his game just um takes up to that next step. He finds a new gear, and it doesn't look like Sam Reinhart's going to be slowing down scoring anytime soon. He had a game-winning goal in last night game. Um, First was actually a Stanley Cup rematch versus Edmonton. They won 6-5 thanks to his goal. And yeah, the fact that this was given the okay, it's such a hot take, and it's already proving to be wrong. So, um, yeah, I mean, still 70 games left, and he's scoring at almost he's scoring at he'll definitely get 50. Um, knock on what else so you guys can see it. Unless an injury arises, but Sam Reinhart will easily surpass 40 goals and will not regress as much as people thought going into the year. Next one, this was kind of the only precursor, I guess you could say, hot take, and it was Utah to make the NHL Final 16, the playoffs, I guess you could say. And I was on board with this. I wanted them to win. However, no one expected the Winnipeg Jets to come out the way they did. Let alone no one expected the Wild to be as good um, as they're doing right now as well. Um, a lot of people wanted it to happen. Utah fans, that place is absolutely rocking. Um, they're playing some good hockey right now. Um, but it's just that Central Division. I already alluded to the Winnipeg Jets, the Minnesota Wild. Then you have Dallas. Then you have the Avalanche, who had a shaky start. Um, but Nathan McKinnon, first player to 50 points on the year. They still have Cale Makar. They get Nichushkin back, which was huge for them. Um, you know, and Arturi Lehkonen still as well. And then they get in Scott Wedgwood to help out that goaltending. And then they shipped Georgiev off to San Jose in exchange for Mackenzie Blackwood. So they brought in the Wood brothers, I guess, in goal. And their goaltending has been already tremendously better with the two in the net. And the Avalanche look like they're going to be right around that fourth that first wild card spot. So that doesn't help Utah at all. And as we've mentioned, St. Louis, um, bring in Montgomery and Cam Fowler, Jordan Kyrou, Robert Thomas, Topochenko, however you pronounce his name, Pranovic. Like the St. Louis looks like to be on the rise as well, and so it's just not good for Utah. As well as if you when you look at I'll put up their lineup here. Um, when you look at their lineup, like, yes, they have Keller. Yes, they have, Schmaltz, Kraus, Newhook. Like, they have veterans and skilled guys throughout their lineup. Barrett Hayden, Matthias Michelli, who I personally really like his game. And their back end is really good as well. Sergachev, Valimaki, um, Olimata they traded for, Kesselring, sorry. Um, but there's no like pure out and out goal scorer. There's no Sam Reinhart in this team. There's no out and out superstar. I guess you can call Clayton Keller a superstar, and I'm not like turning him down in any manner, but he's such a great hockey player. But there's no out and out goal scorer on this team, and unless they start playing some really really good hockey, um, great hockey to the point where a monster move at the deadline can be made. I don't see this team making the playoffs, and I think people realize that after the first month, maybe first 2 months, once the Avalanche got their wheels going, I guess you could say.
What?
So yeah, I mean, it's an unfortunate, but it was a hot take, and it is now even hotter of a take. Our last one of the video is the Oilers will not make it past the second round. This came from a guy on the hockey Reddit I saw, um, which has a huge following, and that's the only reason why I saw it. But I agree. I think this is a cold Palmer. If you know who Cole Palmer is, that's his celebration. I think it's such a cool take, to be honest. I think Yeah, I mean their power play percentage isn't what you think. It's average, 100%. It's just average. Um, but the penalty kill is not one of the best in the league, and especially in the playoffs, you would need to have your penalty kill figured out by then. But the season's still young. Knobloch has the Oilers actually on a positive trajectory right now. They're third in the Pacific. But still, I still think this is a cold take, and I'll give you the reasons why. I'll put up the Western Conference right now. Look at those teams, right? You got Winnipeg, right? You got all the teams I just mentioned in the Central. Winnipeg, Dallas, the Wild, Avalanche, right? And you're not even going into the Pacific with the Vegas, who are just unbelievable. Jack Eichel is really, really just a great player, honestly. Barbashev's having a great year. Mark Stone, like that whole lineup, like it's actually that whole lineup is a joke. Then you have the Kings, who are playing this well without Drew Doughty. Darcy Kemper and David Riddick have been, especially Riddick, who's taken up the net in Kemper's absence, have been playing some really, really good hockey. Um, Laferriere, Brant Clark. The Kings look good, man. The Kings look like if they see the Oilers in the playoffs first round for the fourth time in a row, they look like they're gonna win. And then last year, Game 7, who had their number, especially on the power play, the Vancouver Canucks, another team in that Pacific Division that gives, and just the Western Conference in general, that gives Oilers a really hard fought battle to not only make it past the first round, but definitely not past the second. Um, I think there's six. I just mentioned 8 teams. I think 6 of them can easily beat them in the first round, and definitely 100% in the second round. And those are, I'll repeat, Kings, Vegas, and this is all right now, 30 games or so into the season. Kings, Vegas, um, sorry, Winnipeg, Dallas, Kings, Vegas, Jets, Wild, Dallas. I forgot the Winnipeg Jets. Sorry about that. And then leaving out the Avalanche and the Canucks. Stuart Skinner still starting. Um, is for me still a worry. Over there in Edmonton, I understand he's been playing a lot better, but still, some of the goals he lets in aren't the best. I'd say uh, his goalie positioning, same way a player needs to have a lot of IQ. Don't get me wrong, goalies need to have it as well, but I think his positioning is more important for a goalie, and I still think Stuart Skinner lacks NHL positioning or NHL starter positioning. I think he has the backup positioning mentality down, but I don't think his edge work and his top of the crease to the bottom of the crease, post to post. I don't think his positioning has fully matured, and his ability to move around the crease is there yet. But he's a young goalie, and um, you never know, honestly. As well as their bottom two lines are a little eh. But yeah, I think this is a really cold Edmonton take, and I think it's going to happen in the future. Once they make the playoffs and lose either in the first or the second round. But I hope you guys enjoyed part 2. And if you have any other mid-season hot takes or bold predictions, even, drop it down below. So, because I'm curious, and maybe it'll be such a take or such a prediction that it becomes its own video. So, all right. So, thank you guys, and see you in the next one.